have let another people define intelligence as the ability to solve their problems, not your own. Their problems. They then call you intelligent when you can behave and think in a way that adds to their power and maintains their position in the world. Then you're intelligent. Then you have good character. Understand? I want you to think about what I'm saying here in a minute. You see? And their measure of intelligence then is intrinsically related to those abilities and ways of thinking that allows them to solve the problems that confront them as a people. Those African Americans then, who are often called intelligent within this system, are what I will call intellectual mercenaries. They are hired guns who then are used to solve the problems of the European corporate system and economic system, political and social system, but who, when confronted with their own problems, cannot solve their own problems. They can fly European shuttles into the space. They can light European ships up on the moon. They can sit on the board, on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and direct European armies and develop military strategies for Europeans. And yet they cannot run the white man out of South Africa. And they cannot militarily free themselves. They cannot move Africa into the space race. They cannot get our people in a position where we can commercially exploit space and be a part of the expansion of this system into the universe. You are dumb and ignorant no matter what position you have in this society if you cannot solve those problems, ladies and gentlemen. So you got an MBA so that you can be smart and be productive and even better than the white boys at producing for Xerox and producing for IBM and all the rest. But you can't build and take over your own economic systems in Brooklyn and Harlem and the other places. You Africans let these Arabs and these other groups have control of your economy and control of your system. I don't care how much you can go to Cambridge and how many Rhodes Scholars you produce and so forth. If you can't solve the starvation of African people, if you cannot move Africa to a position of technological challenge to other powers, if you cannot solve the issue of securing the survival of African people, you are dumb and stupid. I don't give a damn how much you pass the exam.
Despite your election of mayors, despite your elections of governors, and so forth, the European still intends to control the nature of information that is available to the African mind. And since this mind operates on the basis of information fed to it, then the control of information by Europeans is an attempt to control the nature of the African mind. You must look at the real power relationship between Europeans and Africans. That is the key. And you must question whether that power relationship has changed at all over the past 400 or 500 years. You just cannot look at the idea that you're now in slavery and say that means we have advanced in some sort of way. Or that now we have certain job opportunities open to us, educational opportunities open to us, that now we can eat at the same counter with white folk and all of this kind of stuff as indicative of basic fundamental change. As a matter of fact, to a good extent, these changes have been diversions to keep us from seeing that the very fundamental relationship between blacks and whites has not changed at all. I've often said that you may marvel about how now you can get a degree in computer technology and how this was not available to your forefathers. But remember that your forefathers as slaves also had skills. They just did not chop cotton and work in the households. They were skilled craftsmen as slaves. And in fact, at the end of slavery, there were more black craftsmen and skilled craftsmen in some areas than there were whites.
But what was the fundamental relationship? The fundamental relationship was that these skilled slaves worked for the benefit and power of their masters. And that fundamental relationship has not changed one whit today, ladies and gentlemen. You do computer engineering, but you're going to do it for IBM, and you're going to do it for GE, and you're going to do it for some white man ultimately. It's the same game, ladies and gentlemen. You may hang out in the same office. You may even marry them. You may even sleep with them. You may eat with them. But the fundamental power relationship is what? Still the same. Still the same. This hasn't changed. And the thing you have to look at then are not those superficial changes, but the fundamental relationship. And there are several of them that you will see have existed for the past 300, 400, 500 years, and that are still pretty much where they are today. And that even integration and even assimilation, and even eating at the same lunch counter, and even the electing of black men to office and black women to office, even the electing of one to the presidency of the United States is going to serve the same function to maintain the ultimate power of the white man over the black man. And therefore you cannot be deceived by those things. And this comes out of this ability of this white man to name and create definition.